as a culture, you know, care. What if I said to you, no one cares? And what if I said that that's true? Because the reality is that we're all busy looking after ourselves, right? We're looking out for number one, right? We've heard that phrase a lot. And the truth is that self-interest and self-preservation is a thing. We all do it. We all practice it. And it's driving all of our behaviors. But here's the thing that I was thinking about, is that, to the degree that, so let's clear this off and start over here. But we should never underestimate, we need to be cautious about, we should never underestimate self-interest, the role of self-interest, because it affects everything we do. So self-interest, no matter what type of we're all, whether you're in business or whether you're just trying to live your life to the best of your ability, whether you're in business, we all on some level need to get cooperation from other people. We need people to cooperate with us. And if that's the case, self-interest always comes into play. Because we always need to take self-interest into account. Whether you're looking at marketing, whether you're looking at selling something, or whether you're just trying to working with your family or your friends, self-interest always comes into play. And so here's an idea for you. So what if we decided to take kind of an enlightened view, to look at what if there was a way to do enlightened self-interest? So what do I mean by that? Here's what I mean. What if, before we make a request of people, before we formulate and write our sales copy, our ad copy, what if before you do a blog post, before I did this particular chalk talk, what if we looked at self-interest? And what if we paused and asked ourselves a very simple question? How about if we ask this question? How can I tap into their intrinsic motivation? Because this self-interest is an intrinsic, and self-preservation is an intrinsic motivation. We all practice it. What if I was able to figure out, if I started by asking myself this question, how can I tap into the people I want, their intrinsic motivation, of self-interest? I think, in my experience, then I would be starting from because our customers are all asking, our customers and our friends asking the WIFM question. The WIFM question is, what's in it for me? We all want to know, what's in it for me? What's in it for me to cooperate with you? What's in it for me to lend you money? What's in it for me to take your life origami program? What's in it for me? Self-interest, is a thing. It's very important because if we were to, before we made a request, before we asked people to cooperate with us, before we asked them to buy something, what if we asked ourselves the question, how can I shape this? How can I serve? And basically, answering this question, how can I tap into their intrinsic motivation of self-interest? If I ask myself that question, then I'm going to have the client's what's in it for me perspective in mind. The way to keep ourselves in a place of integrity so that we are serving people rather than selling people, where we are seeking to understand people, to gain a sense of understanding of who they are before we ask them something. If we can come from that place, we're going to come from a place, I think it's a very high moral ground, right? It's a very high moral position to take, because I know you're thinking about this video right now. What's in it for you to listen to this? Why should you listen to Greg? Well, the reason is that there's the enlightened self-interest is that the enlightened aspect of self-interest is understanding where people are coming from. Whereas if I don't have that understanding, if I don't ask the questions, right? If I don't have that understanding, I'm going to come from my enlightened self-interest, and people are going to know right away that I'm more interested in myself, and I'm not going to be able to answer the question of what's in it for them, right? They're going to struggle. They're going to struggle to understand where I'm coming from. And so I think that this is a very important topic. We need to learn the best way to gain cooperation is to seek to understand. To seek to understand where people are coming from, and that always is one of the tricks we can do to trick ourselves is to say, what's the self-interest? What is it that they're trying to preserve here for themselves? And so that's my presentation for today. Seek to understand other people, and it's nothing wrong with self-interest. It's not selfish. And that's the other, maybe before I end, I'm going to say the difference, practicing self-care, self-interest is not selfish. Okay? It's not selfish. It's self first. We all put ourselves first. And if we can get into alignment with how our clients, our friends, our family, where they're coming from, what their self-interest is, we can get a better understanding of how to work with them and how to support them and how to support ourselves. So let me know. You can find out more about this at www.lifeorigami. lifeorigami.com. You can find us there, Amy and I. And you can also find us on Twitter at lifeorigami. And you can also find us on Facebook. You can search Life Origami. And we'd love, and if you go to Facebook and join our Facebook group at Life Origami, you're going to get automatic updates when we put out a new Chalk Talk or a new podcast. By the way, we put up a podcast today, a new podcast, about 2 hours, 50 minutes around domestic violence, relationships, religion, and how it can interfere with living our lives. Check it out. You can find it at anchor.fm. That's our podcast is at Anchor. Oops, that's not spelled right. Anchor.fm/life-origami. All right. give us feedback. What do you think of this idea of enlightened self-interest? And let's talk. Let's debate it. Give me some feedback. Ask some questions. Namaste. Have a really great day. Hey.